Welcome back, you guys. I hope you're all doing well this Sunday, and I guess right now we're collectively praying for Man United versus Liverpool to end up being a draw, because I know that's what I want. I know that's what I want, you guys. But today I've got 3 talking points to speak about from that 1-0 win against Fulham. I'm going to speak about Mason Mount and why he's the future of our midfield. I'm going to be reacting to Thiago Silva's performance last night, and I'm going to speak about Timo Werner and the reasons behind his lack of form. So I hope you guys do enjoy, and to let you guys know quickly before I go on, I have watched this game again, and for the Talking Point series, I'm always looking to watch the game twice, because when I watch the game the first time, I'm in fan modes. I'm involved in the game. I'm basically like a yarder. I'm shouting, I'm screaming. That's how I like to enjoy the game. So when I watch it the second time, it allows me to just accept the game for what it was. I can put aside my emotions I had before, and you start to realize even more details that you don't first see. So without wasting no more time, we start with the first talking point, and of course, we have to speak about our new midfield talisman in Mason Mount. You guys, Mount is growing this season. Now, last season, I felt like he came under some very unfair critique, and due to the system that Lampard had to use, due to the players he had at his disposal last season, due to injuries to attacking players like your Pulisic and your Hudson-Odois, it meant that Mason Mount had to play a supportive role throughout last season. Now, what exactly do I mean by supportive role? Well, that basically means that Mount's running off the ball was important for other attacking players in the team. Mount's defensive work rate off the ball was important in helping out the fullbacks out wide, in helping the midfield too, because, we lacked the legs due to Cover and Jorginho being our midfield. And of course, he had responsibilities too when it came to leading the press. Naturally, when you're playing for the team, you're not able to express yourself the way you want to, and even though we got small glimpses of what Mason could do last season, let's not forget those games against United, let's not forget those games against Spurs, Wolverhampton, Leicester, etc, etc. The reality was, last season was all about that learning experience for Mason Mount, and to be honest, I think this was a valuable learning experience for the player. Now, most times in football, whenever players are starting out, the position they first start with is not the one they end with, and with Mason Mount last season, he learned the intensity of this league. He learned more about his opponents. He understood the work rate he needed. He was able to improve his defensive play, and of course, how to create space for the team as well. So this was still a valuable learning experience for Mason Mount. Now, this season though, because we can finally use a midfield 3, Mount can play in his best position. Since day one, back during the academy days, this was a position that he made his own. The reason why he excels playing there is that he has excellent shooting technique with both feet, he has excellent work rate, he can progress the ball, play the ball with pace, play the ball between the lines. He has a great first touch, and he's a very positive player who can play in both boxes. So this is why a box-to-box role really suits the player. This season we're starting to see those qualities. However, there are still things that he can improve upon, and there are some critiques that I still have, which is natural for any young player this age. With Mount, as I've said in previous videos, I felt like he hasn't shown us enough goal threat, which made no sense to me, because this is a player that can score from outside the box, that can score with both feet, and as I said, has excellent shooting technique. So it was really good for Lampard to encourage Mount to express that more, to take more responsibility. And it's no surprise in the past 2 games, regardless of the opposition we played against, Mount scored the first goal against Morecambe, and he got the important winner in a must-win game against Fulham. The important thing was the application for Mason Mount in these 2 games, because with this application, you can take it forward into future games. Last night, we saw everything about Mount, his hunger to improve, to test himself, to grow. And throughout the season, we're getting glimpses of the player he's about to be for us in the next few years. With the set piece ability, for me, some of the best set pieces I've seen from a player in a very long time are consistent quality in the box. That dipping technique he has that constantly finds his man in the 6-yard box. It's no surprise why we've scored so many goals from this area, but at the same time, Mount can produce delivery like this from open play as well. If I could say one thing though, I think he could improve on this even more in open play, and I'm sure he's going to do this as time goes on. I feel like he could create those types of dead ball moments a bit more consistently, but again, this ain't FIFA, this is human beings, and it does take time for these players to grow, to become the players that they eventually do become. But one thing I saw from Mount that I feel he's going to bring for us as the years go on is that responsibility and those match-winning moments. We've got glimpses of this already in his career. When he went on loan to Vitesse, how many exceptional moments did he produce for them? When he worked alongside Frank Lampard at Derby and at this club as well, Mount scored decisive goals for Derby, and last season he showed glimpses of the responsibility the player knows he can take. We saw the games against Spurs, we saw his match-winning goal against Wolves that essentially secured us a UCL finish, and of course this season we saw the start of the comeback against West Brom, with Mount getting the first goal from outside the box. These are all small examples of what Mount can do, what Mount can improve on, and what Mount can bring consistently. And the reason why I feel he is most likely destined to fulfill his potential is because of Mount's mentality. To finish this point, you guys, as Mount said in the game yesterday,
recently in the last couple of weeks I haven't been getting in the box as much, and that was something I looked at. I managed to get in there today and it fell to me, and I probably should have had 2 as well.
He was disappointed that he didn't get 2 goals, and that one moment in particular Mount speaking about was an opportunity that came during the first half. Now, for me, when I saw that, his shot technique was off and he should have placed that shot into the bottom corner. And what sums up the player's potential and his greatness is that he had the same opportunity late in the game. And what does Mount do? What does Mount normally do? He produces, and this is exactly why Mason Mount is the future of our midfields. And now for the second talking point, I want to react through Thiago Silva's performance in last night's game. See, first involvement, positive pass between the lines, of course, just, passing through Fulham's press. That's what you have to do when it comes to starting the build-up phase from the back. And this is what Thiago Silva can do in abundance, you guys. So let me continue on. Again, head up, moves that ball quickly. Boom, another pass between the lines, taking out 2 Fulham players then. And see, that's Thiago clearing the danger, and you're going to see him react a bit angry because he's like, you guys, what's happening? Come tighter, what are you doing? And this is the importance that world-class players bring to the team, especially with certain lineups like this where the defensive structure just ain't going to be the best due to individuals. But let's move on. Boom, reads that ball, clears it. One thing we saw a lot in yesterday's game was Thiago Silva covering the spaces in behind Azpilicueta, who was really struggling for pace, throughout the game yesterday. Moves that quickly. I mean, it's just world class. Look at the balls at Giroud then. Very unlucky from Giroud, who did as well as he could to hold off the Fulham players, but look at the quality. This is what world class players do. This is what makes big teams what they are. Players aren't fumbling passes like this. Again, head up between the lines, boom. Look, Thiago is doing what our midfield players should be doing in Jorginho. I mean, how does that make any sense? Honestly, I would not be opposed to Thiago playing in midfield in certain games if, anytime Kante or Gilmore aren't available, because I think you could actually do it, to be honest. Just everything is class about this guy. Again, reads the game. Boom, covers his man. Involved in all the dangerous moments. Boom, wins that header. That's what I'm talking about. That's the leadership that you want to see at the back. I don't know how I'm getting so pumped seeing this, you guys, but I need to calm my ass down, real talk. But boom. That looks quite simple, but you have to realize Thiago's been playing this game for how long? Like over a decade. When you play at a high level, you just have this muscle memory in regards to what you do in certain areas. And, we've seen players that react crazy. Like if that was Rudiger, for example, he's sliding in with a slide tackle. But Thiago knows in that moment, all I have to do is maintain my position, make myself big, and most likely that ball is going to get rebounded off me. So that's the class of the guy, you guys. And again, look at that. He continues to follow his man, allowing the teammates to recover in behind him. What a player. Easy to Rudiger. Wins that ball again. That's the 1v1 ability too, you guys. I mean, what a signing this was to make. Passes it. You see that, you guys? It looks simple because world-class players make the game look very simple. Quickly, heads up. He finds Callum out wide. Instant, perfect pass to him. Sometimes we've got guys that are overplaying, and by the time Callum gets the ball, he's marked by 2 players. This is why playing with speed and pace is important. That composure to cut in, place between the lines, I mean, come on. And his pace is still there. I mean, I don't feel this guy's got any slower. The way he's come to the Premier League and is really just instantly just completely patting the league. For me, guys, an example of what Thiago Silva brings to the team. And now we move on to the third and final talking point, and I want to speak about Timo Werner and some theories behind his form loss. And now to end things with the final talking point, I want to speak about Timo Werner, and I guess naturally he has to be spoken about after a lot of poor play during the end of that game versus Fulham. Now, of course, the miss was very poor, and as I said myself in the match review last night, it reminded me of Torres, it reminded me of Morata with some of the poor misses we saw. And I even said in the review, is Werner making even worse misses than these players? I guess in hindsight now, I wish I didn't make those comments in the review. And my opinion really changed after seeing the response from a lot of people on social media. A lot of accounts came out in support of Werner, encouraging him and trying to boost his confidence, and it got me thinking, of course, I mean, this is what fandom should be today. Now, with social media, we really have unparalleled access to our squad and our players, and considering it's so easy to just throw negativity out, to at one of the players and say you're crap, you're this, you're that, why isn't it even easier to show support? Because who's to say that we, the fans, can't help boost a player's confidence and help get their form back? Personally, I'm still optimistic that Werner can turn things around, and I'm keeping this energy for every new signing we've made. I'm not changing my opinion on this, you guys, considering we've had no pre-season. And pre-season is serious because it's normally, a 5-week period where you play, 6 games? That gives you the time to work on tactics, conditioning, etc, etc. Werner has not got that exactly, and considering the fact too that back in Germany, they have a winter break in December, I feel there are some valid reasons behind some of the mistakes and some of the poor play that we've seen from Timo Werner. I know to some people it might be excuses, and I guess that's down to an individual, but we don't all interpret things the same way. I think even though Werner can take responsibility for some of the poor play, I'm not excusing that. I also think that responsibility can be shared with the team as well. And one thing I've been saying consistently this season, you guys, is that I feel like the team have not understood Timo Werner exactly. With Werner, it's about his use of acceleration. This is what Nagelsmann did at RB Leipzig to get the very best out of him by creating that space for Werner to operate in, to move into, and use his ridiculous speed to, of course, end the moves. That is the type of player Timo Werner is, and when you have plays throughout the season where Werner is making the right runs, but isn't being found by his teammates, and I think a prime example was in yesterday's game where Kovacic had an opportunity to release the ball early, but as I consistently criticize him for, he tends to overplay every single time, and whenever you take an extra touch, you deny the opportunities for chances to be created. Like I said, it's a combination of everything, because I just don't think some of the issues in football are consistently only black or white. But that's only my opinion. I'm making this point because I can understand that if you don't have that confidence, that mental confidence behind you, then even the basic plays are going to be bad. Your finishes are going to get worse. And my thing is, if you're not confident on receiving the service exactly when you need it, how do you build that confidence for every situation in game? Anyway, you guys, that's my thoughts and opinions on the story. What do you guys think? Let me know below in the comment section. On that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.